All Things Black with Garland and Calvin present Fanboys. Fanboys is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Now, here are your hosts, Garland and Calvin.
All Things Black presents Fanboys. I'm Calvin. The human music box over there is Garland. And we are back. We are back. And I mean, like Garland said last week, sports continues and it's always something new. And y'all know what's going on here. But first, what's going on, Garland?
Yo, feeling great, man. We won the draft. That's all I can say. We won the draft. We won free agency. The Orioles are winning. Tank, he getting people to propose to him in the ring last week. Baltimore, we winning, son. What? Come on, dummy. We up, dummy. We out the mud, dummy. Come on.
It is good to be a fan of Charm City Sports. It is good to be a fan. And The Wire is still the greatest HBO's miniseries ever made. Like, I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know the Preakness is coming in a couple weeks. Yo, Baltimore, we on Front Street. We set the stage right here.
Yo, let the streets know we back up.
Hey, we back. Hey. And don't forget, the Park Heights Strut took over the world for all fall and winter long. It took over the world.
Let the streets know. We back.
We back up, man. We back up. I love it. I love it. Don't forget about Angel Reese. Angel Reese over there at LSU and recruiting Hallie Van Lith from Louisville. So they going to team up. Caitlin Clark don't know.
She said, come get one of these. Like the movie Friday Night Lights. Get you one of these.
She said, I know you wasn't talking trash to my girl Hallie.
Right.
Sorry. Man, Hallie will be back. We'll be back.
Come get one of these, Caitlin.
Baltimore is up, man. Baltimore is up. I love it. O's going to win that doubleheader tonight. I got the O's taking both games.
All right. Calvin said they're going to win 100 games. And so
they're going to win 100. Listen. You see they're in second place in the AL East. And the only reason they're not in first place is because the Rays are just killing it.
Yeah, they started off dumb. Yeah. They started off with like 1,000 wins.
Killing it. But the Orioles are doing their thing, man. In a strong AL East. Normally in a strong AL East, Baltimore is at the bottom of that. But they're in second place, man. They're doing well. Boston's at the bottom where they belong. Take them losses on to Boston.
Go rob a bank.
We already know, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. What we got going on today?
We might talk a little bit of something about a signing that the Ravens just made, and
Ozzie Newsome came back. They re-signed Ozzie Newsome.
No. There's a new GM, and I think we're gonna have to put some respect on Yo's name. That guy.
I don't think I heard about a signing.
There's a signing. Yeah, you know.
That's right. That's right. Patrick Queen. They were negotiating with Patrick Queen.
Yeah. You know, so we're gonna talk a little Lamar. We're going to talk some NFL draft. Of course, we're going to get into the NBA. The Lakers, don't poke the bear. So we're going to go to when the keeping it real goes wrong file and, talk a little bit about that. Yeah, we're good in the West. And so we're going to get to that in a minute. But, we might as well start off with the most important thing. This is going to be a where were you moment for most Baltimore Ravens fans, because I was at work. I was at my desk. I was like, I was trying to look at Twitter a little bit, but I had some stuff to do. And one of my friends called me. He was like, yo, y'all boy back. I was like, my boy back? Who? Lamar didn't resign. I start screaming in the office, yes, son, we up. Lamar, he signs a new deal with the Ravens after 27 months of challenging negotiations. Jackson reached a 5-year deal with the Ravens on Thursday. The team announced the agreement is worth $260 million, making Jackson the highest paid player in the league at $52 million a year. It includes 185 million in guaranteed money. The total he signed is 10 million more than what he reportedly was offered. The reports out that he was offered 250, but he took 260. But it's less guaranteed. Allegedly, that they were offering 200 million guaranteed, but he's taking 185, which is still very high. And so everybody's happy. It was a great day in Baltimore. I think people even stopped shooting for about 2 hours and got themselves together. And so uh, let's talk a little bit about this. In the end, and I hate to assign this, but who do you think won, Lamar, the Ravens, or the fans?
Absolutely, the fans won. Absolutely, the fans won. The Ravens were going to win either way. Lamar was going
Mm-hmm.
to win either way. Maybe not together, but they were both going to win either way. But it's the fans. We were the ones walking on eggshells. We were the ones taking it personal when anybody would mention Lamar to another team. We were real sensitive about this Lamar situation.
Mm-hmm.
So the fans won. It was a great day to be a Baltimore Ravens fan. We'll talk about the draft later, but it was just a great day all around. You were mentioning where were you when it happened? Me and the
Mm-hmm.
wife were actually going to a little happy hour invite that we went to, invite on
Okay.
because we royalty. It's in some of the corners
Baltimore
of this
royalty.
in some of the corners of the city we royalty. But we were at a happy hour and she was looking at her phone and she said, "Did Lamar sign?" And me, I'm the girl. I'm the sports podcaster in the family. No,
Right.
Lamar ain't signed. And she was like, "I think he did." I was like, and I don't know about it. I'm getting my air about me. And she
Right.
started calling it off. She said 260 million, 100, 5 years, 260, 185 guarantee. I said, where you say that? So she showed me her phone, bruh. I said, I gotta tell somebody. I jumped up in the middle of the happy hour. She had to grab me. She was like, "You don't know these people." I was like, "But they might want to know." She was like, "Do you think they care?" I was like, "I don't know." So I sat back down and I got the feed. I got it come across my work
Uh-huh.
email for the Sun. So I resent it to everybody at work. Then I went into the little drink line and when my wife wasn't there because she couldn't stop me. I was like, I don't know if y'all know that, but Lamar Jackson just signed. And of course, there were about 4 or 5 dudes that were
Right.
like, "For real? Oh, that's what I'm talking." We had a man moment. We
Right.
had
Right.
we had
Yay,
men moments.
son. We
But it was
back
great,
up.
man. It was great, man. Great time. Great
That's
time being a
right.
Ravens fan.
That's right. And I mean, that's all I talked about, I think, for the rest of the day. I had something at 5:30 to about 7:30. About 7:30 sharp. I was like, all right, y'all, I gotta go. Yeah, you can't go home. You can watch the draft. It's like, yo, we already won the draft. It's over. And so yeah, I think I'll say everybody won in the end. I mean, Lamar, he got his money. And I do have to uh, eat some crow because someone got me before the show to say that I said that Lamar lost on his bet. I said Lamar had bet on himself, and that Lamar lost his bet.
But
And
see, this is what I'm talking about. And I appreciate you eating a little bit of crow, but that ain't how you said. See, he's all like, I said Lamar bet on himself. That's not how he was saying it. If we go back in these podcasts, Garland was here. Lamar, you lost. Lamar lost. He bet on himself and he lost. If you follow him on social media, every time Lamar's name came up, he typed in Lamar bet on himself and he lost.
all
Hey,
those all those tweets have been deleted.
he wasn't as bad as some of the fans, though. Some of the fans totally gave up. Now, I, for
Yeah.
one, was one contemplating, do I stick with the Ravens or do I stick with Lamar if
Right.
he
People
leaves?
were
I was
contemplating
I was
giving up their seat
contemplating.
licenses,
I
their
was
PSLs, and
contemplating.
yeah, people was
I was
contemplating
I was
like,
very close, and what I decided on was I'm still have to be a Ravens fan, but I'll follow Lamar and be a fan of Lamar wherever he goes and support him.
mm-hmm.
But no, I was contemplating. It was a tough time, man. If you're a diehard Ravens fan, it was a tough
It's
tough
hard around
time.
here, y'all. Y'all just don't understand how hard it was around here. Like,
And
People just sitting around, just like you bring up the Ravens. Nobody even want to talk about the Ravens. People just like, yo,
exactly. And
I don't really
we
want to
all
talk
need
about
to
it.
apologize to EDC because not one of us was
Mm-hmm.
like EDC know what he was doing. We was all like, what the look. So some
Right.
time ago, clearly before I got married, I had a girlfriend, and so she was the type of girlfriend that was always like wanted me in her face, and always
Mm-hmm.
would be like, he ain't really, you act like you ain't don't love me because you ain't always showing me off, or
She wanted
you
PDA, public
yeah, she just
displays of
wanted it
affection.
all. And
Mm-hmm.
but whenever she needed me, I was there for it. Like if a car broke down, I go pick her up. If she needed to get something real quick, I'd go get it for her. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
always there when she needed me. Even her girlfriends would be like, I don't know why he treats you like that. But then if they needed something, she'd call me, and I was
Right.
always there when they needed. That's how EDC and the Ravens fans are. We were killing EDC, but when we needed him, he came through. And all he did the entire time was sat back and remain quiet. Even
Yes.
Lamar came out, was like, I wanted a trade and this and that. All all EDC said was, we're still staying the course. We're still working with Lamar. That's all he kept saying. Even his side boy, John Harbage, because that's the
Garbage.
name it. John was out there saying, as far as we're concerned, Lamar is still the quarterback. We're still planning for Lamar. They kept saying it, but not the fans. We was all like,
Mm-hmm.
well, when he gonna sign? He don't ever want to sign. What y'all doing over there? All they kept saying is, we stand the course. We stand the course.
Yeah, they played it well. They played it well because it was kind of like I know when Lamar put out that tweet, I was like, "Yo, it's done.
I
They
thought it was
done.
over. I
It's
thought it was over.
over. It's over, yo." They
I
he
thought it was
he didn't embarrass everybody. He didn't put out the and he put out it was like a thread. I was like, "Yo," he put out a thread of I wanted to leave. Then they haven't done this. This is what I'm worth. And he started making little jokes on Twitter. I was like, "Yeah, it's over. It's over.
you
It's
you know I'm thinking, and this is all speculation right here. You remember when he put that out, he didn't really say much about the contract after that. Mama may have swooped down in there and been like, what are you doing? Like, you are
maybe."
coming out here
Oh,
messing up everything that we're working on.
we
What are
need
you
to
doing?
apologize to Mama because I know I denigrated Mama. I said Mama Mac on the game was a better agent than Mama Jackson. And Mama Jackson, I'm sorry, because I said a fictional character was doing more work than what you were doing. And obviously I was wrong. Because your son is
Malik
the
would have
highest paid
never gotten a
quarterback.
deal.
Yeah,
Malik would have never gotten a deal like this.
right.
Listen,
Malik and TT will still be sitting waiting for the contract. But
and
Mama Jackson got the deal done.
yeah,
Okay, so
we need to
I'm
start
sorry,
calling them
Mama
Mama
Jackson.
Mac.
Mama Mac got yeah,
How Tasha do it?
right. She ain't had Kelly. She ain't had med school. She did the deal on her own. So
She
Mama Jackson, we give you props because yeah, we talking real bad about you. Like yo, you need to get rid of your moms and all. But hey, black man, don't get ready. I know you talking about you got your queen. You don't gotta call your mama your queen. You can have your queen, but don't get rid of mama because mama
I
gonna work out the multi-million-dollar deal.
I gave Lamar a little extra every now and then. I definitely gave it to the Ravens. I never gave it to his mom because something in me
Mhm.
kept saying, Mom is somewhere in the background working on something, whether it be with the Ravens, whether it be with another team. She working on something, and
Right.
she came through.
Didn't you write a poem to mama on on your face?
I took some of the
Mama.
words from Boys to Men. Mama, at the Lamar sign,
I love
Mama,
you.
you know I love you. Yeah, what? What?
Yo, yeah. So it's just a love fest around here until he starts throwing three interceptions and they don't
Bruh.
win the
You
games they supposed to
if
win.
you
So.
remember, at one point I said I even want him to go to another team because even if he signs, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter what, unless he brings a Super Bowl every year and has a perfect passer rating, he's never going to live this one down. Like,
Mhm.
all he has to do is throw one. He could go 25 for 30 for 460 yards with 3 touchdowns. They would be like, but did you see how bad those 5 passes were? Or
Right.
10 of those 25,
Mm-hmm.
OBJ had to save them. They were awful Like, he
Right.
will never get the full
Right.
credit he deserves from people that don't agree with him signing with the Ravens. And there were people before that, before this whole thing even came, that they
It's
still
time to
called
move
him a
on.
running
It's
back
time.
and
Yeah,
everything.
he's a running back. It's time to move on. Well, this year we're going to see because they've changed the offensive coordinator, and let's talk about the impact this has on EDC's legacy. Because I know we were doing emergency podcasts last season after games, talking about the lack of receivers and things that EDC has signed. I mean, we were ripping this guy apart. I had to kind of go back, Calvin. I mean, he did draft Hollywood Brown. He did draft Mark Andrews. He drafted Likely. He drafted J.K. Dobbins. Um, Bateman. They went out and signed, although, OBJ, he's a used tire. He still has some tread on him.
He still
They
has
went
some.
out and he still got some tread on him. They went out and got OBJ. They just drafted a good receiver. We're going to talk about him in a second. Um, Ronnie Stanley. They got the line intact now. Lindenbaum and they got Hamilton last season. Both of them significant contributors to last year's playoff team that probably would have had a better record if Lamar didn't get hurt towards the end of the season. And so I maybe we should start talking about him a little differently. And so what do you think this signing does for his legacy?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing this signing does for his legacy is, and although it's already happened, it's already happened. If you look at everything he's done, I think the biggest thing this probably does is remove him from that Ozzy umbrella.
Sure.
Although Lamar's and Ozzy is Ozzy's last big signing,
Yeah, he's
big
the
draft
last
pick,
signing. Mm-hmm.
it took EDC to re-sign him. And just like you mentioned, and like we can talk about guys like Ajabu, hopefully he'll come through. But
Yeah,
even this free agency pickups like Calais Campbell that helped out, Justin
Roquan.
Houston that
I
came on
didn't even
strong.
mention Roquan Smith.
Yeah, Roquan, the safety, what's the safety?
Williams,
Williams, Marcus
Marcus
Williams.
Williams. Mm-hmm.
So EDC is actually a very, very, very good Ravens
Mm-hmm. Chuck
employee
Clark, they
right
got
now.
some great years out of him. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man. I
yeah.
mean, we have to start, as Baby would say,
Mm-hmm.
we got to start putting some respect on his name, man.
Yeah, put some
We
respect on
have
his
to
name.
start putting some respect on his name. The guy is just, and he does it quietly. Ozzy did
Mm-hmm.
it quietly too. It's not like
True.
but the one thing that was loud about Ozzy is that he was black, of course, so
Right.
he's always going to get the headlines.
Right.
But EDC has taken a team that has always been pretty decent and kept it going and has probably made them a lot better than what they were went before Lamar was actually signed and being the MVP. So yeah, man, we gotta start putting some respect on his name.
Yeah, I got Supper. We know this deal is going to mend that relationship, despite Jackson asking to trade. I think,
Money heals everything.
260, yeah, $260 million. I'll dip in the Bible that, wine is for laughter, party is for fun, but money solves all things. And so, yeah, I think he's going to be okay. I think they're going to be okay. And so I'm not worried about that. I think we're going to get 5 good years. I mean, I think if they get far, if they win a championship, I think they're going to renegotiate that some point within that 5 years, and maybe we might see more than 10 years of Lamar here in Baltimore. But we're going to see at least, at minimum, at least 10 years of Lamar's career here in Baltimore.
Absolutely. And I remember I said that I thought one thing that may have been holding up the negotiations also could have been the length of time. I think the reports were that Lamar wanted a 3-year contract and
Mm-hmm.
the Ravens were definitely stuck on the 5, which as an organization, you don't want to sign your quarterback to
Yeah,
3 years. You definitely want him to sign
in the
5
long
because
term.
in 3 years, if he does well, he's going to renegotiate and break the bank once again. And then
Right.
you're starting all over to try to build around him. I do think this brings light to, we talk about Patrick Queen a lot, but I think this brings a lot of pressure, maybe not pressure, but a lot of showing proven on Rashad Bateman. Um, Rashad Bateman,
Yeah,
number one,
that's
has
what
to
Steve
stay
Smith
healthy.
said.
But yeah, it's you now, sir. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and again, we'll talk about the draft pick later. But draft pick aside, we got OBJ, we got Lamar. There's no Hollywood Brown. The offense is going to open up, and it's up to you, sir, to hold on to the ball. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if you're a Ravens fan, you've watched the games, and it's not that Rashad Bateman was a bad player. From in my mind, he dropped a lot of balls that he should have caught.
Yeah.
A lot of balls that would have put him in the upper echelon of wide receivers, even though he's been hurt the past couple years. It was just that he caught the balls he should have, but there were some balls you were just like, you got to catch that. You got
Right.
to catch that.
Right.
So, and J.K.
Yeah.
Dobbins also, but I think J.K. will be all right. I think J.K. is
JK's
just
gonna be.
hungry. He's just
Give
hungry.
him. Yeah, he
Give
just
him the
hungry.
ball.
Give him the
Give
ball.
him the
That's
ball.
all I want. Just give him the ball. Okay. Stop trying to throw passes in the flat to Patrick Ricard. Give him the dang on ball.
Give him the
All right.
ball.
Let's just stop all this madness. And so let's go ahead and transition to the draft. Now the draft started on Thursday, with three quarterbacks being taken in the first four picks. The Panthers took Bryce Young, number one, as we pretty much thought he would have. We thought it was either going to be him or Stroud, and it was Young. The Texans selected C.J. Stroud at two, and the Colts took Anthony Richardson at four. The Ravens stayed pat at 22, and they selected wide receiver Zay Flowers out of Boston College. He's a plug and play starter. He's a versatile wide receiver with game changing speed. Some people are comparing him to Tariq Hill and
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle. So that's a pretty big compliment right there. He can instantly improve the Baltimore offense from the slot and with his yards after catch, his yak ability. And in the third round, the Ravens selected linebacker Trenton Simpson from Clemson. And so overall, our second round pick, we did not have a second round this season because we traded the second round to get Roquan Smith, who we also signed long term as well. This definitely the Ravens. I think I heard someone said they were Vegas had them at 8 wins or less. Now with Lamar resigning, they win 9 wins and over now. And so yeah, I definitely this is a team that's on paper is going to be very, very good. And so, what did you think about the selection of Flowers?
I thought it was excellent, man. Now I want to thank I believe it was Seattle that took the wide receiver, the taller boy before. I think it was Seattle that took him
No, it was the
before.
Chargers,
The
Quentin
Chargers.
Johnson. Mm-hmm.
No,
Chargers.
not Johnson, the guy with the three names. You sure? I think it was.
Oh, yeah, Seattle took Jackson Smith and Jigba
Yeah, so I think the Ravens were
from
targeting him
Ohio State.
because of his size. So I want to thank them for taking him because I've always wanted the Ravens to get this speedy slot receiver type guy. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, everybody thought Marquise Brown was it, but as we've always talked about, we
Marquise ain't
just
want to
did
get hit.
not see the on-field speed.
Mm-mm.
And not that he wasn't fast, because he clearly faster than us, but when we talk about NFL speed and guys
Right.
like Tyreek Hill, we just
Mm-hmm.
didn't see it from Marquise Brown.
True.
I think we're going to see it. And I got a little, I found out that I have a little insider information.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I actually have a source inside of BC college basketball that said Lamar Jackson, ever since the season was over, it wasn't necessarily well, this wasn't part of what they told me, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going to stretch out and say it may not have been necessarily been OBJ and DeAndre Hopkins. Lamar Jackson was campaigning heavily to get Zay Flowers drafted to the Baltimore Ravens
Okay.
prior to the
South Florida
draft.
boys.
So this may have been one of the things that and if you remember in the draft night that there was a tweet that Lamar put out and said, "I think it's about to happen." And when it happened, he did put out. He was just happy about that, but
Mm-hmm.
he was actually sending a couple texts to Zay Flowers saying, "I want you to be a Raven." So, with that being said, I think the whole time Lamar Jackson was planning to be a Raven, just wanted some guys around him, like some of the reports said. I think it's a great signing. Florida boys, like you said, with that
Mm-hmm.
type of close relationship, man, can you? All this guy has to do, he's short, he's 5'9", but whatever. Steve Smith was short. Tyreek
Right.
Hill is short. It
Right.
doesn't matter. If he can catch that ball, he's one of them guys that can catch a 5-yard slant and just shoot, take off. And that's
That's
what
what I
we're
want.
looking for, man.
That's what
That's
we're
what we're
looking
looking
for.
for.
We like not looking for somebody to catch it and fall down when you see a
No,
couple safeties coming at
no.
you and you get down. We don't want you to get laid out of course, but we want you to have that speed, like Calvin said. Take that little 5 yard slant and take it 90 yards. Go to the hotel. Go to the condominium, my man. That's what we want you to do. And so I'm looking forward to seeing. I really think the thing that kept good wide receivers contained here. Really, and we talked about this, was Greg Roman's offense. It's not it was not wide receiver friendly. It's running back, versatile quarterback, and tight end friendly. That was his offense really. This offense, we're going to see more opportunities for wide receivers. We're going to see more opportunities for them to operate in open spaces, and I hope
Yes.
that translate into a more explosive, competitive offense that's consistent throughout the season. If you think about under Roman, every year the offense started off great, but by about the fifth, sixth game, something happened, and it would be a struggle the rest of the season. And so, yeah,
Calling the
I'm excited
same
about.
plays.
It's like the
That
same plays.
I was so
Yeah.
sick of seeing that end around the Devin Duvernay. I could
Oh
not.
my
I was just
God.
like,
If
it's
you
like
run that
3
jet
times
sweep
a
one more
game.
time, poor Devin Duvernay. Hey, you never know. People saying, "Hey, this might, where's Devin Duvernay fit into this?" Of course, he's still going to be returning punts and kicks, but he's going to if Zay is a plug and play starter, he's going to have to compete for some time. And you never know, in this offense, maybe we might see another skill set within Duvernay as opposed to how they were using him with Roman as just a jet sweep guy. I mean,
You
we did not see him working from the slot, really getting those opportunities.
and you could possibly see some wide receiver sets, which I
Yeah,
don't think we've ever seen
no,
under the Greg
it'd be
Roman
5 wide
offense.
receiver set, and they go to right to Mark Andrews.
One of the biggest things also
So,
is will not be able to stack the box against the Baltimore Ravens. We
right,
already know Lamar's running ability, but that's where J.K. Dobbins can just show off. I mean, you can't even tackle him when the box is stacked. Just
right,
imagine they spreading it out and just handing it off to do with an offensive line that is very good. I
very
mean,
good. They
the
played well last year.
I'm really excited to see
Yeah,
what's
I'm
going to
looking
happen
forward
with
to
this
this.
Ravens offense.
Now, some other notable picks: the Eagles, man. Howie Roseman up there, man. That's just like Georgia in the north. It's Philly,
Georgia
Georgia,
North,
Georgia North. I mean, they're just
Georgia Mid
falling to him,
Atlantic, Georgia Mid
right?
Atlantic.
Georgia Mid Atlantic. They get probably what people were saying was the best player in the draft, but he dropped because of the vehicle incident and all with the player dying and one of the
Yeah,
recruiting coordinators, Jalen Carter, defensive tackle. He goes up there. Last year they got the best defensive lineman out of Georgia. And they got in this draft, they also got one of the top linebackers out of Georgia, and they got a linebacker last year out of Georgia. And so they get probably the best player in the draft, Jalen Carter, with the 9 pick, and they didn't have to move up. It just fell right to them. Will Levis, he looked kind of crazy on Thursday night, sitting on his phone with Mama and his girlfriend next to him, and he kept on
his
looking at the
girlfriend was
phone.
looking around at the guys getting drafted. She was trying to figure out if she gonna be
She
a
saw
free
all them
agent.
black
She
guys
about
getting
to be a free
drafted.
agent this year. Let me stop messing with that man woman.
uh-uh.
He was visibly hurt.
Calvin, she saw them black men about to get them $1 million, and she started itching over to a couple of the wide receivers, defensive linemen, like, hey Jamal, how you doing? This your mom? Hi. Yeah, because Levis, she like, you second round money. I need to get with this guaranteed 5 year. Let me get over here. And but yeah, he gets selected 33rd overall by the Titans. And that's kind of like a little quandary because they just selected Malik Willis last year. And he started a couple games in place of an injured Ryan Tannehill. That team is really stripped down. They let go a lot of players. There's rumors that they
Yeah.
might let go of Derrick Henry. And so we'll see how that works out. But he gets to compete there. Maybe they release Willis because but
I
I
heard they
mean,
don't
Willis
have
was a
any
fourth round pick
but I
last
think
year.
that reports came out that they didn't have much more confidence in Malik Willis. I don't
Yes.
think they really gave him a fair shot, but I think I read that they don't have much
Yeah. They don't
confidence in
have
him.
much confidence in him. So we'll see. Hendon Hook was being talked about as like kind of like the fifth rated quarterback in this
Hmm.
draft. He was selected 68th by the Lions, and so that's good for him because I think Jared Goff's contract runs out in another year, another season. I think this might be the last season, or he might have two, and so there's a possibility that if he's in position to possibly start in another year or so, and so
Yeah,
that's a good spot for him.
and the Lions weren't actually in need of a quarterback right
We're not in
away.
need
They
right
wanted
away,
to
so he can sit.
draft a quarterback, but yeah, but Goff is definitely you can still play him another year.
Yeah, and Joey Porter, he goes to his father's team. He's
He
selected
did.
32nd overall by the Steelers, and so good pick for them. But all in all, I mean, I think it was really no major surprises within the first round. Of
Well,
course, there's always players that fall.
Just the Cardinals trading back 4 or 5 times, and none of them including DeAndre Hopkins with it. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Now I know that the NFL chick had reported that Hopkins was coming here, was in the works, but obviously it did not come through, and that's why they got Zay. But you never know. It could still happen. There was thoughts that maybe it was Queen in the deal and some other pieces, and uh, it could possibly still happen. It may not happen on draft day, so we'll see what happens. I
yeah.
know the general manager said that Hopkins is not going anywhere. The general manager for the Cardinals, and so we'll see
Well,
what happens.
I think he said not during the draft, so I think
Mm-hmm.
he just committed to not during the draft. So we never know, and I'm with you.
Right.
You know, the Ravens still have a shot. Patrick Queen is obviously the name that everyone is going to be dangling out
Yeah.
there for anyone. But I'll tell you this: DeAndre Hopkins would be nice, but I'm not mad at the Ravens wide receiver room right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Aguilar,
mind if
Aguilar. You got
yeah, and I wouldn't mind
Flowers,
if they
OBJ.
use Patrick
Mhm.
Queen to get somebody like what's the guy that Zaire Alexander from I think he plays in Detroit
Yeah. Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I
I.
wouldn't mind them getting a veteran quarterback, you know what I mean, using
Mhm.
Patrick Queen
I would
to
like
get a
to see
veteran
that. I
quarterback.
would like them
So
to get a rusher. They definitely
they need an
you're
edge
going
rusher.
they
Yeah.
need an edge rusher.
Yeah.
Owe really has not become the beast that we thought he was going to become. He didn't have a great second season. Ojabo was really going to be his rookie season. I like Justin Houston, but Justin Houston,
Did they
uh,
re-sign Houston?
they
I
may,
don't think they did.
he back. It'll probably just be the Ravens, and they seem
They
to like
sign him,
him.
sign him for the
Yeah,
first 6 games because
that's
that's
how
what
it
he's
is.
done.
That's
His
what he's
first few
done.
games, he's the
He's a
best
beast.
defensive player in the game, and it's
Right.
no knock on him. I mean, he's
Right.
up there in age. You know, you can't expect him to keep that up. I do
Hmm.
think Owe and Ojabe. I think they have a year under this new defensive coordinator. They have another full off
Right.
season under there. I think they're gonna
Done.
show up a little more.
Hmm.
You got Roquan Smith that is now has an off season, a spring training with them. I think the defense is going to show up a little more. Now they do still need a little bit of depth, I believe. We definitely you
Yeah.
can't get enough edge rushers. But another thing they definitely need, and we've seen it here in Baltimore many times, you need some more depth on the O line because they lost a few O
Yeah.
line pieces. So you
Yeah.
definitely need some more depth
Yeah. You
there.
got you got Cleveland. You got Falale. You got
I like
yeah.
Falale.
So
He's
we're going to need to see if those people will step up. You got still got McCarry, and so yeah, they need to figure that out. I know at least Zeitler and Morgan Moses on the right side are straight. We definitely need to replace the guard that left in free agency
right.
on the left side. Hopefully, Ronnie Stanley stays healthy, has a healthy season this year. And yeah, so we'll see. It's all what ifs. And so with the change in training staff, maybe we'll see if that has an impact on the health of the
because
players
I
as
was
well.
just about to say no preseason games. You need somebody
Right.
to play for preseason. Sign me
I
and
don't want to see
Garland
him.
for those 4
Right.
games. We'll come out there. No starters in the preseason.
Right. I
I
don't
don't
want to see
care.
him.
We do not need that preseason record to keep going. As a matter of fact, let's lose all 4 games.
Yes. Lose him.
I do
Please.
not care about the preseason.
Lose
We
him.
can't afford any more. Not a third year in a row of preseason injuries.
Right.
No,
I don't want to see.
don't do
I
it.
don't want to see OBJ until it's the first game of the season and Ray Lewis is out there rubbing some grass on his chest. That's
Exactly.
I don't want to see him.
Exactly. I don't care if you want him to go in just for one snap. No,
Loser.
nothing.
Loser.
No preseason.
None.
Forget that record, Harbage.
Right.
Forget it.
None.
If
Man,
you
let's go ahead.
if he don't play any of them in the preseason, I'll stop calling them Harbage. Even though
Okay.
I just started today, but I won't do it.
I like it though. Let's talk some NBA, man. There's been some great playoff series going on, and so let's start in the Eastern Conference. The top seed Bucks, man, they suck. They blew it. They choked it up. They lost the series 4-1 to AC play-in team, the Heat, who were led by Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler, he averaged 37, 6 boards, and 5 assists in that series.
Jimmy's
they had
a
no
dog,
answer.
man.
He
Jimmy's a
dogged
dog.
them out. He killed them every game. Now, your boy Giannis, he was asked after game 5 if the season was a failure because they did not win the series. And yeah, I thought Giannis was going to start cussing in Greek. He's like, what do you mean? What? I mean, do you get promotion on your job? Do you get a promotion on your job?
Year?
Didn't you ask? You asked me this last year. Don't you get? If you don't get promotion on your job, are you failure? No, I'm asking you. Are you failure? I mean, Michael Jordan is in the league 15 years. He only won 6 championships. Was those other years failures? I'm asking you. So let me ask you, Calvin. If you don't win a championship, is the season a failure if you're a professional team?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. That's what
I'm not even sure why Giannis was so upset. I get it. It's
Giannis is a failure.
Right after the game and this and that. But sir, no one's saying that you're a failure, but the goal is to win the championship. Every team there's only one team that's not a failure, and that's the team that wins the championship. Like I'm not sure why he took that so personal. Like, sir, it is a failure of a year. Maybe he just feels like failure is such a harsh word, or I don't know, but yes, like if you don't win, ask your fans. I tell you what, if you ask your fans if the season's a failure, I bet every fan in that arena would be like, we didn't win the championship. We ain't won since we won 2 years ago. Last 2 seasons have been a failure. Like it is, sir, but it's not a bad word. The goal is to win the championship. If you don't win the championship, then you fail to win it. It's really that simple.
I saw the conversation and it made me want to discuss it here because I saw Shaq and Barkley talking about it on Inside the NBA show. And Shaq was basically like, man, whenever we didn't win the championship, it was a failure for me. He said, I was not happy. I did not look back on the season great. I don't care how much I averaged or what I did. It was a failure. He said, that's how I kind of course, Barkley's like, it's not a failure. It's not a failure. Of course, because you ain't got no chips. You ain't won nothing. So that's the difference between a winner and a loser. Shaq, who's a winner, is like, no, I played to win championships.
Yes.
I don't play just to be successful. It's not like Little League. This is not the Christian co-ed softball where we just come out to play some games and to be happy. It's funny. My wife.
But even Christian softball league, if we don't win the championship, it's a failure. The season's a failure. Like we don't let Garland fool y'all. Garland know
it was competitive.
That is competitive. We don't.
We're just
out there just going around holding hands. No, that is
Yo,
competitive.
we came to win games and
We
we
came
wanted the
to
ship.
win.
Yeah, it's
Win.
funny. My wife, like she's not a big sports person, and so I'm home watching the game, and she'll come in after the game and say like the Ravens lose, and she'll be like, "Did the Ravens win the game? Win the game today?" I said, "No, honey, they didn't win." She said, "Well, did they play well?" I'm like, "This is not little league soccer, sweetie. This is not. This is not Emerton rec ball. They lost. It doesn't make a difference if they play well or not. They lost the goal at which the game is to win championship. I don't care how well you played, it's to win. And so, yeah, Giannis, the season was a failure because you had the best record in the West, East. You had, I think, probably the second best, or not the best, record in the NBA this season. You guys had home court advantage against the lowest seed in the play-in, and you got blown out. It was a gentleman's
and
sweep. You got
and
blown
you're
out.
arguably one of the best players in the game right now.
Right. And y'all got blown out. I mean, and I'm not gonna say blown because the last game was an overtime game. A couple of them were overtime. You
Yeah, but they didn't
lost.
even
You
take it
blew
to
it.
7. You didn't
Yeah.
even take it to 7 games.
Yeah. You didn't take the 7 games. So yes, I'm sorry, Giannis. Yes. I mean, Michael Jordan, he played 15 seasons.
I
He
bet if
was
you ask
bad.
Michael Jordan would
Yes,
say the
it was a
seasons we
failure.
did not win were a
was a
failure.
it was a failure. Okay, especially Jordan. F
Of
them
course,
kids.
Jordan.
Jordan didn't want to let kids get a pair of Jordans at his camp.
that's that's not true, y'all.
It
Jordan did
is.
not say fuck them
Yes,
kids.
he said F
That's
them
not
kids.
true. That's
They
not
like
true, y'all.
Chris Paul's like, hey, if I beat you, let's get the kids Jordans.
Not true.
Jordan said F them kids.
It's not true, y'all. I don't know why Garland keeps spreading this. It's not true, y'all.
It's true. It's true. All right, the second seed Celtics, they closed out the 7th seed Hawks in 6 games and will now face the 3rd seed Sixers, who swept the Nets over a week ago. But the status of Joel Embiid is in question because he has a sprained knee, but maybe he'll be able to play in this series. My man, he apologized to Janet Jackson. As you know, Janet was supposed to play the Atlanta Hawks arena for her tour with Luda opening up. As a matter of fact, that probably would have been a live show because Luda, he's from Atlanta, and Luda's
From
opening
Atlanta.
he's opening the show. Whatnot. I like Luda's one of my favorite MCs. I mean, he's not a top 10 or a top 15. He's like in the 25, but I love his videos. And so Luda was opening up, and he had to apologize to Janet Tatum, Jason Tatum. He's kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry, boo. Let's wait a while. After this game, you can go ahead and do your concert. You like that tie-in? All right. So
I like that. Let's
you
wait a
like
while.
that?
I
Yeah,
like
let's
that.
wait a while.
I
Come on,
picked up
because
on it. I like
yeah,
that.
because the Celtics were in control and they went ahead and finished it out. Got that too? Ah, you like
He'll be here
that?
all weekend, y'all.
Ba-da-ba.
Make sure you tip your servers.
Definitely, because they did a Rhythm Nation on them. And so, all right, so let's go on. All right, so the
Stop.
it doesn't stop. I'm just full of them. Oh my goodness. All right, man. Let's keep it going. Anyway, and so the 5th seed Knicks. Oh my God, New York. Is New York back on Earth now? Because I
Uh,
know Bong
is
Bong.
does
It's
Spike Lee
gone
even go
crazy.
to the Knicks Garden anymore? Because I know he was in Cleveland for the closeout game, but I
Spike.
don't think
Yeah, I think
is he back
he
at the
was.
Garden?
Yeah, he's back at the
Because
guy.
he
He's
was
spiked
mad at
out.
Dolan. Okay,
Yeah, he
okay.
was. He was mad, but he got himself together, and so I think he's back because he was mad about Oakley, how they treated Oakley and
Well, he was
all
also
those
mad
things,
because
and that they were losing.
they wouldn't let him go into
Oh yeah, that's right.
the special
The
entrance. They had to
elevator, the special entrance, and
yeah,
he had to
they
come
had
in the
to walk
regular
around.
entrance.
It's like
Yeah, why they do Spike like that? Come on now.
exactly like you
Come on
got to make an
now.
exception for Spike.
Yeah,
I
come
mean,
on. Yeah,
damn.
come on. Don't act like that. But nah, he was at the game. But yeah, the 5th seeded Knicks, they had a gentleman sweep over the 4th seeded Cavs, 4-1, and they're going to face the 8th seeded Heat in the semifinals. That's going to be a great series. The Knicks won that season series. I think it was 4 games to 1, and the games were very close. I think it was just an average of 2 points in all of the games. And so, what do you think about this Knicks Heat series? Are you going to go with the hot team? Both of them are hot, the Knicks and the Heat, but Butler is definitely playing. I won't say above his shoulders, but he's playing great basketball. The Knicks, they're not going to have Julius Randle, at least for the first couple games because his ankle. We don't know if that's going to be the whole series. But Jalen Brunson, best signing that the Knicks have made in the last several years, he basically destroyed the Cavs, and yeah, the Cavs just they didn't have an answer. So, what do you think about that series?
Yeah, so I think because I believe the Heat are suffering a couple injuries also, but if Butler has to keep up in the next series, which he can
Yeah,
do, Butler we saw in the bubbles, the years in the bubble, Jimmy Butler was able to
you
keep it
always
up.
like to go back to the bubble, but go
Well,
ahead.
see, I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
even refer to my first round winning play-in team Lakers. I didn't even talk about them yet,
We're
but
gonna get to them.
I referred to Jimmy Butler, how he was able to keep it up
Hmm.
in the bubble. So
He
Jimmy
was.
Butler,
He did.
if he
Played
can
very
keep
well.
it up, I would take the Heat. But my money is going to be on the Knicks. My money's going to be on the Knicks because they do have home court advantage. They did win the season series, and they don't have to rely just on Brunson like the Heat will
Sure.
have to rely on Jimmy Butler.
Sure. Yeah, Tyler, a hero. He's out for the series. He broke
Yeah.
his hand in the Buck series, and you can only keep that streaky shooting up for so long. I do like Thibodeau coaching in this series. He seems to come up with some great defensive strategies. I think Brunson's playing great. I think the rest of the team is playing great. I would go lean towards the Knicks as well. I mean, the Knicks, they have a path to at least the Eastern Conference Finals to get there. And so we'll see what happens. And I think they start playing today. The Celtics and the Nets. What do you think of that series?
Celtics and Sixers. Celtics Sixers.
Sorry, Celtics and Sixers. I wrote it down wrong in my notes.
I said last week that I had because Doc is sick of y'all. I had the Sixers going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I had the Sixers going. Um, I don't know, man. The Celtics are so streaky. When
Hmm.
they lose. Like they drop some games, they drop them, but they have so much talent on that team. It's really hard to bet against them. And with MB being hurt, I'm gonna have to go Boston in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Boston too. I just think they're built for this. They really don't. To me, it's not anything about the coaching. I don't care anything about the coaching. I mean, Doc will figure some way to blow it, but we'll
See, sick of
see.
y'all.
I
See,
know
there you
that
go.
Doc is sick of us. Doc can figure out some way to get blamed for it, and but I think the Celtics are the better team. I would lean towards the Celtics as well. If Embiid comes back and he's able to play the entire series, I think it shifts it. It makes it a little bit more tougher for them to get that because Embiid, I mean, he had been playing lights out. They really don't have an answer down low for Embiid, and he just opens everything up for the rest of the team with what he does. And so we'll see what happens. But I would go Celtics right now for that series. And so let's go ahead and bounce over to the Western Conference. Your first seed Nuggets, they eliminated the 8 seed T Wolves and will face the 4 seeded Suns, who eliminated the Clippers in 5 games as well. Devin Booker, he averaged 37, 6, and 5 in this series of, versus the Clippers. Clippers, they had lost. Oh my God, why am I drawing blanks? Oh my
Uh,
goodness. And
the
this is why
players
you
they
got to
lost Paul George,
Kawhi, yeah. Well, Paul George
Kawhi,
didn't play in it yet, but Kawhi, he started the series. He played 2 games and then went out with a sprained knee, and then they diagnosed him with a
they
torn
killing Kawhi,
meniscus.
man,
Yeah, and so people have been
killing him.
killing Kawhi. Maybe it's time for you to quit. Maybe the Clippers, it's time for them to move on, but they're paying a lot of money to move on, and so I know he's not going to move on anytime soon. But it might be a minute before he gets back because he's a guy that's kind of a little slow in recovery. Definitely, if they had Paul George and Kawhi, I think it definitely would have been a different series. And so the Suns get the benefit of having the best 2 players on that team out for the series, and they go ahead. I think they're going to have a tougher matchup versus the Nuggets. And the Nuggets, they really disposed of the T Wolves. It was another gentleman's sweep, 4 games to 1. I like that series. It should be good scoring. Are you still sticking with your Nets? I mean, your Nuggets?
I am. I'm still sticking with the Nuggets.
Okay.
It's going to be a tougher series, especially at KD to that mix. But I'm still sticking
Yeah.
with the Nuggets here.
Yeah. KD, he did play well against the Clippers. Devin definitely stepped up. I think, having KD on the court opens up opportunities
Opens up
because you have to
everything.
pay attention to him as well. After Booker and KD, there's really not too much more on the Suns. Their bench is a little thin. And so I do like the Nuggets. They can go at least 8 deep. And I think they'll go ahead and pull this out as well. Now, straight from the when keeping it real goes wrong file, the seventh seed Lakers take the series 4-2 with a 40-point beatdown of the second seed Grizzlies behind 31 points from D'Angelo Russell. Now, at the start of the season, your boy multi-head Ja Morant. Now, I'm trying to figure out. I used to have locks, and I'm trying to figure out is that is those multicolored locks? Is that his hair? Or did he go to someone and they put that in because it don't look right. I know he just had a new shoe come out, and those are the colors. Actually, if you peep the shoe, those are the colors of the shoe. And so, did he go and dye just those three locks? The color of the shoe? I
See,
don't know, Calvin.
you
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 don't have to respond to
you
that. It's just me.
slandering Thelophilus in this, or whatever his real first
Hello.
name is.
Is his
Thelo
first name really Thelopius?
it's
I'm gonna
something.
look
It's
it up.
Daddy no Novius, but he is honoring George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic.
Funkadelic,
His
that's what he
little,
doing?
yeah, that's
Atomic
what he
Dog.
doing, man. That's what I'm gonna stick with, because if that ain't what he doing, I don't know what he doing other than fighting teenagers and having to shoot at him because he getting pull out guns on him because he getting beat up
Yeah,
by
so
teenagers.
Ja I did, at the beginning of the season, he had an interview. Demetrius
Demetrius,
Jamel.
that's it.
Demetrius. He,
Demetrius.
he from South Carolina, y'all. Yeah, he from Dazzell, South Carolina. He not even from like Hilton Head
He ain't
or,
from the
or Myrtle.
hood.
He not.
He
Yeah,
he is.
Demetrius. Yeah. So anyway, and so Demetrius at the start of the season, he had an interview with Malika Andrews, and he said he wasn't worried about the West. He said he was focused on the Celtics.
We good in
We
the
got the
West.
West. We good in the West. That's what
Malika
he said.
always getting these dudes to say some
I know.
wild
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
It's that light skin and that hair pulled back. They just be like, yeah, let me impress Shorty and stuff. Let me say
She
something wild.
always getting them to get
Yeah,
out
that's
here and
why they
say
got the
so
women,
wild.
because them dudes be like, yo, I'm trying to impress. Let me say something real wild. Because he wouldn't say that to Stephen A. He wouldn't say that.
Steven would have been like, wait a minute, hold. So you're telling me you got the Nuggets, the Suns, the Clippers, the Lakers, but you're
Right.
good in the West. The Grizzlies are good in the West. All right.
All right, right. He would have hit it. All right. All right. Yeah, so he was trying to, yeah, Malika. I ain't worried about the West Bay. We ain't worried about
If
them.
you watch the interview, she actually laughed. She was like, "You're good."
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, we good.
Okay, sir.
You heard me. It wasn't the mic is working. We're good. And then your boy Dylan Brooks, who looked like a candy girl. He looked like one of the city girls walking in one of the games. They showed his pregame outfit, Calvin. He looked like one of the city girls. I didn't know who it was. I was like, hold up, is this the WNBA season started? Then it's like, no, that's Dylan Brooks. I was like, oh,
Did you say he looked
okay.
like a city girl?
Yeah, he looked like a city girl. I was like, is that JT? One of the city girls? I know she was in jail for a minute. Did she? I know that's not Diddy girlfriend coming
He
into the
did look. He
game.
did look rather spicy coming into the arena.
He did. I was like, okay, all right, city girls. And so, he called LeBron James old and say he liked to poke the bear. And we kind of predicted that the Grizzlies season was over when Ja was out here flashing 22s like he had, up in the strip club with a 22 talking about, And so and I guess Steven Adams' prediction was right that this team just wasn't focused. You had these young players, but I think experience won out on that. Any thoughts about the Lakers?
Yeah, well, any thought, I got a plenty of thought about my Lakers. Now what I will say is, John Morant, all these jokes that we give about him, he is a problem on that basketball
He
court.
is.
I mean, even, there was a game. I want to say it was game three, first game back in LA. The Lakers had actually gone up by 20 something points, and John Morant single handedly brought them back. The Lakers only won by like 10.
Hmm.
Ja is a monster. But just like we've said, the key to the Lakers' victory is a healthy and savage Anthony Davis. I watched that game last night, and Anthony Davis, although his scoring line wasn't quite there. I think he may have dropped 14 or 15. He was such a problem inside that lane. He had 5 blocks, which may have felt like 20. Every shot in that lane was altered because of his blocking ability. He was grabbing loose balls. He was flying, and of course, every time he fall, you think he gonna shatter, but
Right.
he didn't.
Right.
He didn't. I mean, he was on fire. Then you add to that D'Angelo having his biggest playoff game ever.
Ice
You
water in the
also add
veins.
to that this boy Austin. Oh my
Hmm.
God, this boy Austin
Austin
Reeves
Reeves.
is just, yeah, he's just a player. I mean, the Lakers are, they were clicking on all cylinders against Memphis.
Hmm.
And it's good that they actually did win in six, because now they get to rest and get to play the winner of the
Warriors King
Warriors.
series.
Yeah, the
Hmm.
Warriors Kings. But yeah, man, my Lakers are clicking well. And since the deadline, since the trade deadline, they have been the number one record scoring team
Hmm.
in the NBA. So my Lakers are doing well, man. And it was great to see them win the closeout game by as much. I'm not going to give them 40 because that was the final score, but they pulled everybody in the third quarter. So I'll give them 20. You know what I mean? Win by
Right.
20. I'm
Right.
not going to count the backups. But yeah, man, it was good to see them just actually cruise through. After the first half, it was pretty much a done deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we had to put some new respect on Rob Palinka's name as well. He finally got
Yeah.
away. See, the thing is, I think the successful LeBron teams are the teams that don't listen to GM LeBron because, as we know, LeBron runs the team. If LeBron is on your team, he runs the team. But his most successful tenures have been with the teams where he's not running the team. He tried to run the team in Miami, but that was run by Pat Riley. Um, and they knew how to build that team. When he got back in Cleveland, they had a good general manager, although they went out to do some things for LeBron. They traded away because LeBron likes to play with seasoned players. He has his picks. They went out and did that, but they eventually built a team around LeBron that kind of is the prototype team that you need around LeBron to succeed. You need shooters, people who can spot up, who can don't need the ball all the time, and know how to play a specific role. I mean, Rory Hachitachi, we did not think Hachitachi was a great player in DC, but he's a perfect role player for LeBron. He's a grinder, gets in there, gets the board. He can shoot from the elbow. He can be consistent from there. Great. Austin Reeves, I don't know if Austin Reeves is that great on any other team outside of the Lakers. D'Angelo, he's been up and down. He's a proven player, but he's been up and down. I mean, he was supposed to be doing something special in Minnesota. That's why they sent him there. He was going to be playing with Cat, and that just didn't work out. But playing with LeBron and playing on that type of team, they found the perfect role players to really complement what LeBron and what AD do, and it's worked. And so I think they really got a chance to get to at least the conference finals. I don't know if they could get by the Nets or the Suns, and whoever
Yeah.
comes up next, I think that's a tailor-made series as well. The Warriors, they're not strong down low. I think they'll have some problems with AD. Same thing with the Kings. Although they got Sabonis, I still kind of think that they match up well with the Kings, and so we'll see. Now, the defending champion, 6 seed Warriors, they were blown out by the 3rd seed Kings
Ooh.
last night, 118-99. I mean, the game, it just started badly. I mean, I think they were down like 8-9 zip after the first couple minutes of the game. I mean, just sloppy with the ball, throwing it all over the place. The Kings got 28 from Malik Monk, and they got 26 from De'Aaron Fox. That's a problem. You can't let Malik Monk put up almost 30 on you. He played very well. The couple of their bench players came off and contributed very well. They beat them up on the boards. Jordan Poole, I don't know, maybe LeBron I mean, not LeBron, excuse me, maybe Drake sneak him again and maybe give him another punch. I don't know if that'll help his game, but he had a horrible game last night. You know, the little twist and the stuff he was trying to do. They were like, get out of here with that crap. He has not played particularly well this series. I don't think he's played particularly well this season, although they gave him a lot of money because they had to. I mean, they didn't have much there. And so Steph, he did what Steph does, and he put up the numbers, but he needs a lot of help. I think Clay, he put up a little bit. He had 20 plus last night as well. Um, they're going back to light the beam, game 7 on Sunday. And so, any thoughts on that game? Who do you think is going to come out victorious?
Yeah, man. So I think the Warriors feel like they can win in Sacramento. I think Sacramento unlocked a cheat code, and if Sacramento wins, they may be able to run this same cheat code against the Lakers. Tim Legler showed it on the screen last night when he was talking about the game. But also, I do recall the Oklahoma City Thunder back when it was Harden and Westbrook and Kevin Durant did the same thing to my Kobe Bryant led Lakers, and it was that youth and that speed.
Mm,
Last night, after every score the Warriors had, the Kings were getting the ball and just racing back down the court,
hmm.
and they were just scoring. So it was like no matter what you did,
Yeah, they're getting a lot of
they were
points.
just coming back in the gate. You know what I mean? There was no time. You're at home.
Hmm.
You kind of want to celebrate. The fans want to get it going. There was
Right.
no time to get any momentum going. Like I said, I watched the Oklahoma City Thunder do that to my Lakers one season, and even
Hmm.
Kobe at the end of the series was just like, these boys are just fast. Like he was like,
Right.
it's there's nothing I can do. They're fast. If Sacramento can keep that up, they are going to run the Warriors out of the gym in Game 7, and my Lakers are going to have an issue also. Now, looking ahead, if the Lakers do have to play that, AD will have to step up big time
Sure.
down low. But yeah, man, I want the Warriors to win. I don't know, man. I really like the Kings, and you've given them more confidence. De'Aaron Fox is playing hurt
Yeah,
and
he's killing
still
them, man.
dropping buckets on you, man.
Yeah, he's
I
putting
like
in
the
work.
Kings. I think if I had to bet money, I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with the
Okay.
Kings in this.
Okay. Yeah, Warriors got their work. It might be the end of the dynasty. They got their work cut out for them because after this season, I mean, I think, Draymond, they definitely move on from Draymond. They probably move on from Clay. And I don't know if they necessarily have anybody there that outside of Steph to rebuild. I think they were counting on Moody. They were counting on Jordan Poole. They traded Wiseman, who was the number 2 pick from a couple seasons ago. Kaminga really has not stepped up the way that they thought that he would. He's been up and down, mostly down. And so,
They still have
yeah,
Wiggins. They still have Wiggins that they
Wiggins,
can
yeah,
move into
but
the future with.
is
Remember, Wiggins is a what?
Wiggins.
A former number 1 pick. They
Yeah,
can move
but
into the future with him.
he kind of Wiggins. He was he was kind
Watch
of
out.
like a throw in that D'Angelo Russell trade when D'Angelo was traded from Golden State. That's crazy. I forget. A lot of people probably forget that D'Angelo Russell was on Golden State for half a season, and so
Well, you know who didn't forget they were on Golden State? Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is over there in
right,
Sacramento, smiling his ass off.
right, yeah. So we'll
um,
see. It's gonna be a good game Sunday, though.
Watch out for that. Remember, I've said this beginning of the season. Watch out if the Warriors lose. Watch out for that Steve Kerr retirement announcement.
Okay, you did say that. You did say that, and We shall see. Just like I was saying, Lamar failed on his bet. I definitely gonna bring it up if Steve Kerr gonna
Lamar, you
retire.
bet on yourself and you lost.
I did not say it like that. I did not say that. I said it with less spice.
Lamar, you bet on yourself and you lost, son.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Jackson, Mother Jackson. I'm so sorry. I repent. Might I repent on those things I said. All right, so it's a favorite segment everyone loves. Come on, yo. And so we're gonna close out. And you went first last week. I got a brief come on, yo, not as
Okay.
detailed as the last couple ones I've done over the last couple weeks. And excuse me, I want to know. Come on, yo, who keeps giving Charles Barkley talk shows? I'm trying to figure this out, Calvin. NBA All 75 player, one of the greatest small power forwards to ever play the game.
Ever play.
Ever. I know he doesn't have championships, but ever. Go if you're not sure about this, go to YouTube, look up some Charles Barkley highlights. And they don't even really do it justice. 6'4", playing power forward, and he was a beast. Now, Charles Barkley is a great player. I even love him as a studio commentator on TNT. I thought he did great on the college games too. Him and Kenny Smith, they've done the tournament ever since TNT Turner Broadcasting has the NCAA tournament. He's one of the studio commentators. He's great. He's great. But who thinks Charles Barkley is a political mind that has all of these wide-reaching, progressive political views? I never forget a couple seasons ago, a couple years ago, somebody at TNT thought it was great to have Charles Barkley do a special on race in America. They didn't go get Mark Lamont Hill. They didn't go get Jamel Hill. They didn't go get Ta-Nehisi Coates, somebody who's that conversation. Some executive was sitting in the boardroom and say, "Hey, we want to do something on race in America and what's going on because you know the death of Freddie Gray and all these things. Who can we get to really lead that conversation?" And someone said, "Hey, Charles Barkley." I can't believe it. And so Charles Barkley came to Baltimore and he met with some people at Southern Baptist Church, and them people ran Charles Barkley out of town. Charles Barkley tried to bring his conservative, kind of skewed view of race to Baltimore, and Dummy got ran out of town. They gave Dummy the business. That's what we call people in Baltimore. I'm not saying Charles Barkley's Dummy. That's Baltimore lingo, Dummy. And so somebody at CNN thought it was a great idea to give him and Gayle King, Oprah's best friend. I ain't got nothing against Gayle. I know black men don't like Gayle because you know Gayle asked R. Kelly tough questions, and then they found every picture with Gayle with a white man and say Gayle just love white men and don't love black men. Black people, black men. Anyway, so yeah, that's 50 Cent said yeah, Gayle was and Snoop because Snoop called her a nappy headed hoe and everything, and so you know, these problem black men, you know, because Snoop was portraying himself as a pimp for stuff. We forget that Snoop was walking around with young women in chains with their tops off, portraying
And
himself as
now
a pimp.
Lady Gators.
Yeah, yeah. So we forget all about that because now he's Snoop lying. But yeah, someone thought it was a great idea to give Charles Barkley a show. And come on, yo, it's more qualified people out there to lead these discussions that have these viewpoints. I love Charles Barkley, but let's keep Charles Barkley in his lane, literally the basketball lane, and leave from there. Even if you want to bring him out for some golf, okay, I'll go with that. But political conversation, no. So come on, yo, let's stop greenlighting these shows for Charles Barkley and just let's leave him in the studio.
It's just terrible Ernie is terrible. You know, with Shaq, these big fat women in San Antonio, they just terrible, terrible. Hey man,
Chuck.
speaking of coming to Baltimore and people not forgetting some of the things you do, Don Lemon was fired and everybody was feeling so bad for Don Lemon.
Yeah, let's not
I
forget
don't know
him
if
on the
y'all
corner of
remember
Pennsylvania and North.
When Don Lemon came during the riots, and
Yeah,
Don Lemon was a real ass here in
yeah,
Baltimore.
yeah.
So Don
Don Lemon
Lemon
almost got
didn't
lit up on that corner.
exactly. Don Lemon didn't become let's say
He didn't start
Negro
clapping on the 2
friendly.
and 4 until late, maybe a year later.
Yeah, he didn't become Negro friendly until oh man, how do I forget his name in Minnesota that got killed, that got strangled.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway.
But anyway, during the riots, during the Freddie Gray time,
Mm-hmm.
Don Lemon was awful. George Floyd.
George
Don
Floyd.
Lemon didn't become Negro friendly until George Floyd. So
Right. Yeah. He
I
learned his
didn't feel
lesson
bad
after
for him.
Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel bad for him when he got fired. I was like, it was maybe a long time coming,
Right.
sir. Plus, you spent
Right.
17 years there. It's time for you to go anyway. You think you are Al Sanders, Jerry
Right.
Turner,
Right. Come
Stan
on now.
Stovall? It's
Who
time for
are
you to
you?
go.
Get out of here, guy. You're not even Jason Newton. Get out of here.
City forever, Jason. Listen, my come on, yo, is gonna be real quick and real easy and real
Mhm.
common. Everybody is familiar. We talked about Ja with the whole We Good in the West, but let's concentrate on Mrs. Dylan Brooks, or City Girl, as
City girl.
Garland called. Come on, Dylan. Come on,
Ci-
y'all.
City
You
girl.
gonna holler, we he like 40 or something? Then you gonna holler, uh, I don't respect nobody until they put 40 on me. Sir, you got 40, you lost by 40 points last night. And what did you do? You hightailed it from the media. The only time you interview with the media is when you all won the 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Omar said, if you come at the king, you best not
It's not
miss.
nice.
Sir, you missed. And now you can't face the music? I don't understand that. Like, you can't talk big trash, but then when it's time to face the music, you don't. Everyone faces the music. Everyone. And you, sir, brought it and then
Mhm.
tried to blame the media. Oh, the media is making me a villain. Are they? Are they really? Or is it the
No.
little dumb TikTok dances that you all did coming into the arena?
Right. Right.
Could that be it? I
Yeah.
mean, listen, everybody likes the startup story, the Grizzlies, John Morant. We all thought, but you got a little big and you got spanked by the vets. But you went after the king, sir. He's literally nicknamed the king.
Yeah.
And you went after him personally, not just the team. You personally would. I wish he was younger so I could have eliminated him then. Well, you can't even eliminate him when he's older. And unlike Austin Reeves, you're not him.
Right.
You're not him. That's the new saying that the kids
Yeah.
got. You saw how I dropped that in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks, you're not him. Come on, yo. Come on, yo. I don't even think you're going to be in Memphis next season. Matter of fact, you may not even be in the NBA next season. All I'm going to say is make sure you don't have any type of week on your flight to Russia, because they will lock you up just like they did Brittany Griner. So come
He
on,
got a
yo. Come
he
on,
got a
Dylan
plane in
Brooks.
Russia.
Chill. Chill.
I would got him in Russia. What about the G League at least? He going to Russia?
The G League is for guys that can go up to the NBA. Ain't no NBA team
Ain't
won't
nobody
touch
want him
him.
no more.
They don't want him. He gonna be playing in Russia, over there in Siberia with the oligarchs. He gonna be riding around with one of them oligarchs and be sponsoring him.
Well, hopefully he don't show up in the outfit he had on last night. He
What
gonna
is
have
this?
frostbite.
What is this?
You sound like Giannis. Now look, Dylan Books, what do you have on? Are you a loser just because of what you have on?
Your shorts are
Jeez.
tight. Your shoes are thick.
Right.
What is this?
What is this? You want to look like a city girl? What is going on?
Man, Dylan Brooks is such a clown. And what makes it even worse, his own team didn't defend him at any time. And everybody in the NBA is killing him.
Right.
Your own colleagues are killing you. All the players are killing you. Like you have to earn the right to go after somebody like LeBron James. Right. You know what I mean? And you're not even the best player in your position on your own team.
Right. They're like, that's main man. Y'all deal with main man. I don't know.
Ever since they lost the first game, he had that I eat ass face every time on the court. And he just be sitting there.
Right.
And then you got the little scars in your head.
Right.
I was going to say that you got come down. I don't even know what's going on with your forehead, sir.
I'm not sure. Memphis, they need a reboot. We'll see what happens. They're going to have to reboot the computer there.
Listen, Moneybag Yo is probably one of my favorite rappers right now. My kids turn me on to Moneybag Yo. And like he said, matter of fact, did you watch the game last night? The commentator, the old white man said, just like Moneybag Yo would say, I got time today. I was like, sir.
Right. They be killing you. Right.
But yeah, man, Dylan Brooks, you are out of here, and I'm glad. I said good night to everybody except Dylan Brooks. I should have said good night, Dylan Brooks. Then we ain't got to see you anymore.
Good night in your tight shorts.
What is this?
What is this? I mean,
we don't do that over here in the Soviet Union.
Is Dylan Brooks a loser? Yes, Dylan Brooks is a loser, Giannis.
He had on some old thick ass fish heads. Like women wear those.
Yeah, I was like, I think my daughter got a couple pairs of when I saw him. I was like,
thick ass sketcher looking thing.
What does he got? What?
Anyway, man. Hey, another good podcast. Definitely thank you all for joining us. This is being recorded live on YouTube, and you'll be able to see the video if you're using Spotify, but we are on all of the podcast platforms. So make sure you rate us, review us, tell your friends about us.
Yes.
We are here every weekend talking sports. You know, we're Baltimore heavy because we are Baltimoreans. Orioles will take the 2 games today. They will sweep the Tigers this series. They did win the other day. They came back and won again. Orioles are always down early and then coming back and winning. I don't know why. I don't care why, as long as they come out with the dub.
Let's do it.
Orioles, Padres, World Series, Ravens, Eagles, Super Bowl.
Pause.
Book both of them. Book both of them.
Pause. Double pause.
Y'all hear him right.
Double pause.
Y'all hear him right. Listen, and then when it happened, I'm gonna be like, Garland, you bet on yourself and you lost. Hey, man, we definitely appreciate you joining us. Make sure you join us next weekend when we come back with another podcast. Hey, Garland, you got anything you want to say to the people?
Hey, man, keep on tuning in. Thank you. Some people leave comments. We appreciate that. And definitely, and check out the Tupac documentary. Him and his mom, Dear Mama, a lot of you. Tupac's mom, definitely a great backstory. She was a former Black Panther, and she was very significant in the party, kind of shaped Tupac's. I heard something as I was watching last night's episode. The guy said that Tupac was intelligent, dumb. And I think you gotta watch it because it maybe is an accurate description. Someone who might have been ashamed that he was smart.
That's
interesting.
I'm gonna have to.
This was what one of his managers said that. And Mike Tyson said that.
Shout out to Afeni, that's Tupac's mom.
Yeah.
Shout out to her. But anyway, thank you again. Make sure you join us next week. We hit this outro music. We'll hope to see y'all soon.
You have been listening to Fanboys, an all things Black with Garland and Calvin production. Thank you for listening, and make sure to rate and review this episode on all of your podcast platforms.